Hi everyone, welcome to another Facebook Live paper crafting class. I'm Rachel Tessman with StampYourArtOut.com, and today I'm going to show you a very simple card. It's for the newer kind of crafter, somebody who hasn't really been around much. It's super simple, and but I think that the more advanced stampers too will enjoy this card. It's easy, it's quick, it's one of those cards that you can just whip out when you're in a hurry, but it's stunning. And so I'm going to be featuring this stamp set called Heartfelt Blooms, which appears backwards in your screen, but it's a gorgeous stamp image that is in this stamp set. I love it. Let me look at my notes here. I want to make sure. We're going to use just stamps, ink, paper, and just a couple simple embellishments. And those of you that want to give your card some texture can also get some training from the Big Shot Basics that I'm also going to share during this broadcast. Hello everyone. I see a lot of you checking in. This is so fun, and I love it when you tell me where you're from. We have North Carolina. Let me scroll through here. I want to see what you guys have posted so far. Wisconsin, yay. And I know Colorado is in there. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining in. And it's Don GJ with us again today. I love your last name, by the way. It's just a fun spelling. Okay, thanks, Don, and thanks, Carol and Mackenzie and Sandy and all of you guys for joining. I'm going to flip the camera around. Oh, I want to tell you something else. I have been starting doing prizes at the end of the broadcasts. So when you comment, like you're doing now, or when you question, post something, post anything that will be in the feed so that you can get entered into the drawing. If you do share this video, that's even more awesome. I love that because that means that more people are seeing the idea. And if you do share, make sure that you post the word share or shared in there so that I can see that you've actually done that, and that will get you an entry into the prize drawing too. So, and those will be drawn at the end, and the prizes usually coordinate with the product that I'm sharing. So, hey Carol from Illinois. All right, so let's go ahead and flip the camera around so that you can see this pretty and simple card. Okay, hang on. All right, we're going to clip you in the stand because I still have not learned how to use my more advanced tools here yet. So pretty soon, I promise. All right, we've got you on the table now. There we go. Let's just position everything, make sure you can see. We're going to be making this card today. And again, it's featuring this stamp set. Hey Kathy, hey Lisa. It's going to be featuring this stamp set called Heartfelt Blooms. It is the #1 stamp set in the Sale-a-Bration choices. And Sale-a-Bration is a promotion that Stampin' Up! Has going on right now, and it's usually from January through March every year, and it's an awesome promotion. Every $50 that you spend in Stampin' Up! Product earns you a pick from the Sale-a-Bration choices. And this is one, a bundle of ribbon, like this here is one. It's really, the choices are really nice. They're around a $15 value in the US. So that's the stamp set. And I actually have two of these stamp sets. I have the wood mount version, which looks like this. It's on wood block. And then I have the clear mount. And when you have clear mount, you have the red rubber, but no wood with it, and you can just cling it to one of your clear blocks and use it that way. A lot of people prefer this because of storage. It's a lot skinnier to store than the wood mount boxes. It takes up less room. But then you have those people who love the traditional wood because you don't have to worry about clinging your stamp to a clear block every time you want to use it. It's instant, ready to go. And I'm actually going to use this one today. It really does not matter. It gives you the same image. So to create this card, we need to first start out with our measurements. It's time for screenshot time, everyone, okay? So, oops, not that one. Let's go ahead and take this paper in here and flatten it out a bit so that you can go ahead and take a screenshot of all the measurements for the supplies. And as you're taking that screenshot, I'm going to introduce you to all of those supplies. We have the, oh here, they're on this side of the table. We have the Smoky Slate cardstock, and this is just a half a sheet of cardstock that has been cut, folded in half, and it's ready for our card base. Then we also have the Whisper White, and we have two pieces, We have the smaller one, which is for the front, and we have a slightly larger one, which is for the inside. And if you cut your white cardstock to that size, you can actually get 5 of these for the inside out of one sheet. So those of you that are demonstrators like those paper saving tips. Well, anybody really does, right? And then this one is positioned so that it fits going this way across the cardstock. So that is our one that goes on the outside. And then we have a layering piece, and I just wrote down colored cardstock that coordinates with the glimmer enamel dots, because the glimmer enamel dots come in 4 different colors, and this is that product. I think I went through probably, oh gosh, probably 10 to 12 of these packets just in this year alone. I love them very, very much. Sorry about my printer making noise. It does that once in a while. I think those of you that have come and seen my broadcast know that I have computer, internet, and printer issues. I think we all do. The colors that come in this packet are Old Olive, Berry Burst, Crushed Curry, and Dapper Denim. And so what I did is I just cut my colored cardstock that coordinates out of all of those different colors so that you could see them. And then the last element that we need is our ribbon. And our ribbon, you just need about 4 inches of it, unless you want to do something really fancy with it. But this is our shimmer ribbon, and this is another one of those Sale-a-Bration choices. I think I just shared that with you. This is what it looks like. It comes in 3 different colors in a packet, and you actually get, in those 3 different colors, you get different widths too. This is our, let's see, this is our 1/4 inch, our 1/4 inch, the basic gray color, and that coordinates really well with the smoky slate, the lighter gray that's going to be on the base of our card. And then we have our 1/8 inch Bermuda Bay, which is a yummy, yummy color. I love blues and greens. I'm a blue and green fan. And then we have this one, which is 3/8 of an inch, and this is our coral color. And I'm going to set those aside for now, and I'm going to first do some more basics here, because I know that with this card, hopefully you guys got those measurements. With this card, we do have some people who are new to stamping or newer to stamping with us, and I want to make sure that you know how to do some of these basic things. So when you get cardstock, you typically get cardstock in the 8.5 by 11 size. You can buy them in mixed color packets, or you can buy them in single colors. So lots of choices there, but you have to create your card base, and the Stampin' Trimmer is an excellent trimmer for doing that. We're going to go ahead and cut our cardstock in half this way, the long way, but you can cut it in half the opposite way, going this way, and still get a 1/2 sheet of cardstock folded in half to get that card base. So we're slicing it at the 4 1/4 inch mark, and then I'm going to go ahead and set that one aside. We can use that for another card later. I'm going to turn this 90 degrees and stick it back into my trimmer, but now I'm going to use my scoring blade. And so I'm just going to pull this one down, and I always indicate that with the word score on it, because I want to make sure that I'm not cutting with it. And we'll go ahead and score that. So now at 5.5 inches, we have our perfect card base folded in half. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to stamp. So we're going to take some of our other supplies. What are the other supplies that we're going to need for this card? We're going to need smoky slate ink. We're going to need some adhesive, and I like to use the snail adhesive. Hey, Vicky's with us. And we may use glue dots depending on how we add our ribbon. You're going to need a paper snips for trimming your ribbon up. And of course, you're going to need your stamp set. And let me look. We used our trimmer, so that's also something that you'll need. And then all of those consumables that I just shared with you. Plus, I think, oh, here they are. Plus the glimmer dots. And I'm going to use this packet here because this one is actually going to become one of the prizes. Yay! All right, let's move this out of the way and let's get to stamping. So to stamp our image, let me grab my wood one here. We're going to open up our ink, and our ink pads are really unique because we actually have the ink in the cover of our pads, so that when you store them this way on your shelf, the ink pad is being stored upside down, and it always keeps the ink fresh at the surface. Hey Kendra, thanks for sharing. And then it just rotates, it just flips into the base. Very easy to use. And it locks also. So those of you with small children and you're stamping and all that, you know, it's kind of a child safety type thing, they really can't get at it. At least my little kids, when my kids were little, they couldn't. Okay, so we're inking this up, and you'll want to look at the bottom of your stamp to make sure you get lots of even coverage. If you see any place that is not inked up, you want to ink it again. The larger the stamp you have, the more you want to make sure you're going back and forth. And for this, I'm just going to stamp it, I believe. Let's go ahead and stamp it in this lower corner, right like that. And then you put even pressure down. And I'm not rocking. You don't want to rock your stamp. Oh my gosh, Sandy. That's awesome news. She just said that she has the UPS truck coming by her house, and just went by my house without stopping. That's horrible. It's such a nightmare because, you know, we love getting that UPS person to come by and bring us all our stamping goodies. And we'll just stamp this one in the upper corner like that. Hopefully we have enough room for our words. Let's set that off to the side and grab our word stamp. And I didn't put together my images from my wood set yet onto the wood blocks because I wanted to show you how to do that too. So I'm going to grab this one from our clear mount set, and I'm just going to stamp that in the upper corner like that. Very simple and easy. So speaking of putting together your stamps, I'm going to close this up, set this aside for a minute. Here's a quick tutorial. Let's grab that Thinking of You, and we'll grab the matching sticker. So we have the rubber image, the wood block, and then you just peel off this little guy right here, and it's a little sticker to go on the front of your block. And I just like to center it like that. And then you peel off the backing. Super simple, right? I probably should have put together a clear mount stamp for you too, but that we'll just have to save for another video. But that's how simple it is for those of you that are new to stamping. It's really easy to put together your stamp. Okay, we're going to come back and finish up this card. I'm going to go ahead and use the crushed curry color. So we'll add our adhesive to the back, and our snail adhesive has a little cap on it like this. You just push it back and you pull and kind of give it a little twist at the end. You don't even have to twist the snail, but it's kind of a habit for me. And then you just put it on there like that. We grab our enamel dot, and I believe I have some yellow in here. You guys might have to help me look. I know I had 2 left. They may be flipped over. Oh, I would pick the color that's hardest to find. That was a very popular color in my Stamp-A-Stack. You know what? We're going to do this. Hold on. Our snail is not completely bonded. We're going to change color, you guys. Okay, let's do some pink. Let's bring some pink in because it is a sunshiny day here in Minnesota. There, and I see lots of pink choices in front of me. Okay, let's go ahead and peel one of these up and just stick it in the middle of our flower like that. And we'll just shove those aside and clean them up later because that's what we do, right? All right, now this card can be mounted onto our card like this, or we could even place it in the middle like that. You have lots of choices. I'm going to go ahead and place it like this. And before I put it all the way down, I'm going to do a very, very simple add of that ribbon. So we're just going to fold this ribbon in half like that, and we're going to attach it to the back side of our cardstock like that. Super easy. I'm just going to put a little bit more adhesive over the back of it to reinforce it, and then we can add it to our card front, and then we can take our scissors and we can trim it up. Trimming your ribbon at an angle always makes it so super pretty. And you can add a few more glimmer dots on there. Let me show you some other versions of this simple card. And you're going to notice that on these versions, thanks you guys, you're going to notice on this card that we don't have any embossed background. We don't have an embossed background on that one either. Or on the one that I originally shared with you here, which I love because I just tied my ribbon in a knot here and stuck it down with a glue dot. But on these two, I do. So I'm going to show you some Big Shot basics next. Before I move on though, did you notice how beautiful this stamp image is. This is a special technique that, here, I'm going to show it to you on this instead because it's a little clearer. This is a special technique that Stampin' Up! Is using now to create some of their stamp images, and it gives the image a 3D effect without using multiple layers. So, and I don't even know the process that they use to make it, but that is why this stamp set is so popular. It is just a gorgeous set. Okay, also before we move along to the Big Shot Basics, I want to show you a couple other things that you can do to your image if you want to get even more involved. So I just, on this card here, let me go back again, I just used paper, ink, and stamps, and then a couple embellishments. Now if you want to get fancy, you could add in some blends ink. Now this is alcohol-based ink, so when you're stamping with a water-based ink, you can put alcohol-based ink on it and it won't bleed the outline of this color, of this ink here. So none of my gray moved when I colored this flower. I did the outside with the lighter daffodil color, and then with the inside of the flower I used the darker one, and then I kind of blended out a little bit so that we had some shading in the middle, but that's how I got that flower to pop. And then on this one, you can, again, because this is a water-based type of glitter brush type of paint, on this one, I don't know if you can see very well, maybe if I hold it up high, but there's a little bit of glitter on that flower because what I did is I painted on this stuff called Wink of Stella, and it's very easy to do. In fact, we can add it on top of this flower here so that we can even do a glimmery effect. Can you see that? Can you see that glimmer on there? So Wink of Stella is fun to add. Oh gosh, now the thing with Wink of Stella though, I know there's so many possibilities. The thing with Wink of Stella though is that it is water-based, so it will bleed a little bit of this. It didn't soften it up too much, probably because I let this ink dry really fast. But on this card that one of the gals in our team did, if I can find it here, she did Wink of Stella. Isn't this a pretty card? This was done by Vicki Spicer. And she did Wink of Stella over her flower here, and it acted kind of like a watercolor brush, so it made it a very soft flower, but also added that glimmer look to it. So, and then here's another one where they did the, I believe these were blends markers because the ink in the background did not bleed. This one was done by Julie Barkley, one of the gals that I swap with every month. So you can see that fun look. And she also added the shimmery paint over the top. So she colored with the blends markers, and then she added this on top. So many possibilities. Let's bring in that Big Shot tool now. Here's some Big Shot basics for you guys. All right. That was a quick card today, wasn't it? You guys are going to love next week's card, by the way. I already have it done, so I can't wait to share that with you. This is the Big Shot machine. It's pretty big, and it's pretty heavy, and so when you're going to, take your stamping to somebody's house, it does have a handle, but it just, maybe encourage them to buy one so that you don't have to carry yours around everywhere. When you get it, it comes with a platform, and the platform has two pieces, basically, the Big Shot platform and then the thin die adapter. And this adapter is great for when you're going to be doing die cutting with really thin types of dies. Let me share one of those with you, like this. Okay, so these are thin, and then we have embossing folders, and these are a little bit thicker, and then we have the dynamic or the really thick embossing folders. So I'm going to show you quickly how to layer up everything in order to use these. So with your two cutting mats that also come with it, so you get all of this, the Big Shot, the platform thin die adapter, and the two cutting mats. With that, you can place your paper in between. You always sandwich between your cutting mats. You can place it in between with your die and center it all and crank it through. And you can go ahead and cut. And when you're cranking it, you're actually turning this handle over here, okay? So we're going to bring it all the way through. And it's just like having this really cool machine that does fun punching. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we want to remove the thin die adapter. We're going to take it down a little bit to a different level, and we're going to bring our cardstock back in, our basic, or not our basic gray, sorry, our smoky slate, and we're going to add an embossing folder to it. This time I'm going to add the embossing folder that looks like little swirls. Oh, I can't remember the name. Is that bad? It's a really fun one. Seaside, I think it's called. And we're going to put that in there. And you can put it in from either end. So what I did for the sandwich is I have the regular platform. The thin die adapter is gone. I have my clear mat, my cutting mat, and I have my sandwiched piece in here and this. Okay, so for embossing, you want to sandwich your paper in between the folder. And another thing too, now I'm not showing that very well here, but you typically want to lead your embossing folders with the seam going inward into the Big Shot, but I kind of wanted this image to go this way on my card, so I'm going against the rules on that. Sorry, you guys. And then again, you just crank that handle. So let me shimmy this over here so you can see. And we're just turning that handle, and it's pressing to emboss my paper instead of cut. So when I pull this out and open up the folder, you can see that we now have waves on there. Now that's the regular embossing folder, but the dynamic embossing folder, which is thicker. So here's the leaf one, and here's the plank one. These are thicker. Can you see that they're really thick? So we have to actually take away one of the cutting mats. So we're going to do this one more time with another smoky slate piece, and I'm going to go ahead and use the leaf one because that is my favorite, and I think I have to do it this way. There we go. So we're just going to sandwich it in there, make sure it's all even. Okay, and then we'll set it up. So we have the platform, no cutting mat, the embossing folder with the paper in it, oops, and then the other cutting mat on top of that, like this, okay? Now we'll crank it through, and you'll know that you need to take away one of the cutting mats because you won't be able to crank it through at all. So, and there we go. Now the deep embossing folders, these dynamic ones, really, really do an awesome job at embossing. You can see the depth there. You can see that it's almost 3D because it looks like you have three layers or 2 layers of leaves on this and then a background, so 3 different layers. It's just amazing the depth that you get with those embossing folders. And again, here is that card that I did with that one. So just a touch of leaves in the background. I hope that that helped. We also have one more, or actually 2 more platforms for the Big Shot that you want to be aware of. This is the magnetic one, and this can take the place of the regular platform with thin die adapter. These 2 together and then this one are the same thickness. So remember, with the thin die adapter, you can do die cutting, right? So the magnetic platform is wonderful because these dies cling to it. And that really helps so that when you're going to be doing some die cutting, you can make sure that this die doesn't move on the paper. Now don't use it directly on the platform because you will cut your platform. Instead, you want to make sure that you have your sandwich again. So you've got your cutting mat, then your paper and die, and then you have on top of that, and I won't actually cut this because you know what to do now, and then you have this on top. Okay, that's the sandwich that you need for that. But this won't move on you. It'll stay in place a lot better. In the olden days, those of you that know, you're probably raising your hand, we used to use Post-it notes to hold it in place, but you don't have to do that with the magnetic platform. Now, if you don't want to invest in the magnetic platform, you can use Post-it notes, and that'll hold your die to your paper as you're putting it through with the regular platform. We have one other platform, and that is our precision plate. And we use that with the regular platform and thin die adapter, and it takes the place of one of the cutting mats. So instead of having two of these little puppies here, you just need one. And you want to have one that you're okay with beating up, because this is super, it's like, I don't know what it's made out of, steel, kryptonite, I don't know. It's it's super, super strong, and it will it will die cut your very detailed die pieces out of paper super, super nicely. So we're going to place that right on here, and we're going to put one of our scratched up cutting mats. The thing that happens with these cutting mats, that's the reason I told you to get your beat up ones, is because these will die really fast with the precision plate. It warps, it goes in all kinds of because it's being put against such a hard surface. So just know that if you're always using your precision plate with your detailed dies, that you're going to go through your cutting mats a little bit faster. So we're cranking it through. I better hold it on top. It's a tough one. Okay. Oh, and Sandy spritzes hers with a little bit of water. I've heard of people using rubbing alcohol too, because it dries faster, and then it gives you a deeper impression. Yes, it's a good tip. Now I've cut this, and the next thing that I want to do is get it out of here. So if you have a Big Shot brush, it's really convenient for taking that image out of your paper. So this is a good tool too for those detailed dies. I hope that you got some ideas out of that Big Shot Basics section of this video. I have to turn the camera around. Oh, no, I'm not going to turn around yet. I got to show you the card that we're going to do next week. So this is the card we're going to do next week, but watch. Watch, watch, watch. Ta-da! It's a fun fold, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I came up with these measurements because I wanted to have 4x4 designer paper for my team meeting for a make and take tonight. So my team is going to actually do a similar card with their make and take pieces tonight when we do our group team meeting. But I have another version of that card to share with you guys all next week, so you can see how this fun fold works, and you'll be able to get the measurements and everything. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. Okay, let me look over my notes. I want to make sure that I got everything down here. So this is the ribbon that we're going to give away today, and these are the glitter enamel dots. Plus, each person is going to get a version of those cards. So we're going to draw for 2 winners. One is going to get this with one of the cards, and one is going to get this with one of the cards. I want to point out again that I did share 2 Sale-a-Bration items, this one, and then of course the stamp set, Heartfelt Blooms. If you do not want to invest $100 in Stampin' Up! Product in your order before the end of March to get those 2 freebies, then I would tell you that your priority would be, as I take you out of the stand here, your priority would be to get the stamp. That would be first choice because it is beautiful, and you do not want to miss out on that Heartfelt Blooms stamp set. So as we walk upstairs, because I forgot to bring my laptop down, you get to see my house. We are going to go to the laptop and get that that program up on there where we can pick the winner. And as I'm doing that, I'm not going to look directly at you because I have to make sure I get there. Where I want you to know that you can actually shop for these products in my store, and you can go to the store either through my Facebook page, there's a shop button, or let's see if I'm doing this right here, or you can you see my kitchen in the back? Or you can actually, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Campaigns, posts, there we go. Or you can go to my website, stampyourartout.com, and there's a shop button there too. Okay. All right, we are there. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see what we're doing. Okay, we are on woobox.com, and we're going to go ahead and pick a winner. It looks like we had 63 comments this time. This is awesome, you guys. Let's click on pick a winner. All right. Okay, here we go. Pick a winner. And the winner is, for the first prize, Richard Doris Schlager. Is that how you say your last name? I'm guessing it's Doris Schlager. And then we're going to pick another winner. And that person is Kim. I know Kim personally. Yay, congratulations to both of you. You're each going to get one of those prizes. Yay! Thanks everybody for joining me on this sunny day here in Minnesota at 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you next week, same time at 2 o'clock Central. So thanks you guys. Bye-bye.